and Liam Finn with a nice tune, Back to Life. You're on ABC Radio Sydney this afternoon. Max Burt's an interesting bloke. He's had an interesting life, as you're going to hear, and has come up with an idea which, in some ways, I'm surprised it wasn't around already. I suppose it's like many things like that, isn't it? You go, really, no one's done this yet, but they hadn't. We talked earlier in the week about an app that allowed people who had difficulty hearing or people who just wanted quiet, cafes and restaurants, an app that allowed them to get information, to provide information, and to access those areas. Max's app, WheelEasy, is helping people to upload information about accessibility and then to find accessible places at this point around Sydney. I'm going to play you some conversation I had with Max at his house a little earlier in the week. I do need to point out that Max can be a little difficult to understand, but all that will be explained in a moment. So here it is. It begins with me trotting down to meet Max. Hello, Max. How are you going?
Hello, James. I'm very well, thank you.
Now, Max, you do have a particular quality to your voice, so
yeah, that's true.
You might need to explain what's happened to you.
Well, some 19 years ago, almost to the day, actually, I was driving home from work and a fire truck went through a red light and hit my car side on, and I got a head injury, which means I use a wheelchair and I speak as a wheelchair.
Yeah. Now, at that point, you're a busy advertising executive?
Yeah. At the time, in fact, I was co-running an agency, an advertising agency in London, but I just got married. In fact, I just resigned from my job to start a new agency of my own. But obviously that never happened.
So you've spent 19 years, you said, in chairs, getting around.
Exactly.
Yeah, getting around cities like Sydney, London, wherever else. So what have you devised now?
My wife Justine and I have designed an access information website from our charity WheelEasy.
Now, we'll hear a little more from Max in a moment. I just want to make sure, because in actual fact, it is a little hard to understand him when he says the name of it. It's WheelEasy. So, simple as that, WheelEasy. It's a website. You can go to it right now. WheelEasy is a one-stop shop for everything about access for everyone who wants to get out and about, live life to the full with their family and friends. I'm reading from the website here. It provides 3 categories: accessible, partly accessible, inaccessible. It collects information from everybody, from people that will go around and go, oh yes, this was how we got into here. This is easy to get into. This place is fully accessible. So all the information gets up onto the website. It's called WheelEasy. If you want to have a look at it, let's go back to the conversation with Max. So it's my understanding is that one of the problems you have if you're living a life in a chair, you won't necessarily know whether this building's got ramps or perhaps the ramps around the back or the access is somewhere else. Like, it's hard to know until you turn up, right?
Well, I'll give you an example. There is a cafe just down the road, and we were living here for a year thinking we couldn't get into it because it's got a couple of steps. But then we by chance discovered that there was a side entrance around the back, and we didn't know about this. But with our website, WheelEasy, we would have known.
All right, and the idea is that you or others will go somewhere and go, oh, this is the access here, and put that into the website. So it's a bit like a TripAdvisor, right?
Yeah, so it relies on crowdsourcing information. So what we're doing is inviting people to share what they know about access. And yeah, as you say, just like TripAdvisor, we will grow by people telling us what they know and putting their own photos on, writing their own descriptions, etc.
And is it just buildings as such? Is it just the city?
No, it's certainly not just the city. We're beginning in Sydney, but our aim is to cover the whole of Australia. And our dream is to be on the mobile phone of every Australian who needs access information.
Not an unreasonable dream, I don't think.
No, I don't think so. I think.
So what's available now? I mean, we're a fair way into the mobile phone world and this kind of digital sharing of information. There's nothing like what you're describing.
Incredibly, perhaps. No, nothing at all. I mean, the only people who really are trying in any way in this area are Google.
And so you're talking about, like, could be beaches, could be national parks, could be anything, right?
Beaches, playgrounds, walks, or roles, should I say, the natural world, but also things like cafes, museums, cinemas, etc.
And are you expecting that a cinema owner or National Parks and Wildlife or something will also put this information up there so that, they're spreading the word as well?
Indeed. Yeah. That's the idea, is to demonstrate to business owners that people who have mobility problems and the people with them return to places they know are accessible again and again.
We're talking about WheelEasy. That's Max Bird. He designed the website and the app, and the idea is that you'll be able to get, in one spot, you'll be able to get information about the accessibility of a beach or a picnic or an airport or the train and tram stations. It'll give you all the information you need. Max has got a great idea also for increasing the awareness about WheelEasy and getting the information, gathering up as much information as possible.
Our dream to cover the whole of Australia by staging a series of what we're calling really great days out, where we recruit volunteer ambassadors to hold events, these really great days out, hold these events where the mobility impaired, their families, their friends, the local community comes together for a day, has a bit of cake and coffee, and then goes out and adds access information,
Right.
blitzes the whole area.
Yeah, nice. So you might cover a whole, the north of the city or something, and go all over it and go, okay, this building, this building, this building, this park, this is what it's got. Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah, that's nice. So that's Max Bird, and it was a good conversation with him, and it is a really great thing that they've done. It's called WheelEasy, so you can look it up now if you've got somebody who has a bit of trouble getting around town, they need to know what the access is, then WheelEasy is starting. It's got, I think he said, about 1,000 people have started to use it, so the information's starting to grow. Obviously, the more people who use it, then the more information will be there, and it doesn't mean you don't have to be, living life in a chair or finding it hard to get around to put information up. Of course, you might know someone who's running a cafe and tell them to get their information up there if they've got it. So just go to their website wheeleasy.org and you'll find all of the information right there.